Welcome to Frequency Matters, the RF Microwave Update series. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Eric Heim. This episode, we're going to continue our coverage of the February satellite and radio communications themed issue. As a reminder, the cover story is The Art, Science, and Magic of Invisibility, Designing Transparent Antennas, written by Taoglas. And these antennas are really cool. They're made with a conductive carbon nanotube material that's almost transparent. So you can put them on windows of cars and buildings and you can hardly see them. And we reviewed the technical features in the last episode. So Eric, what do we have for product features?
Well, we have three in this issue. The first is from Pendulum Instruments, and they announced an expansion of their multi-channel frequency and time interval calibration analyzer family. And this latest edition is a 4-channel frequency analyzer based on a 10 megahertz rubidium frequency reference. So take a look at the article to see all the specifications. The issue also has Marquee Microwave introducing a lumped element Wilkinson power divider family for new space applications. And that's notable because most Wilkinson power dividers are based on quarter wavelength transmission lines. So these new combiners and dividers are much smaller and come in chip scale packages. So the product feature addresses performance, packaging, and some of the design challenges for these new devices. And finally, we have QSign introducing a family of photonic microwave oscillators. And that architecture is based on optical oscillators. So when the microwave oscillator locks on the reference, it's locking on a mode-locked laser or optical frequency comb that has significantly better phase noise than an electronic oscillator. And QSign claims that these new products get more than 10 dB improvement in phase noise at 10 gigahertz versus the best laboratory-grade RF signal generators. So good stuff.
Yeah, that QSign product is very interesting. Saw it at one of the trade shows. And so we had one tech brief, which was a multi-channel ultra-broadband software-defined radio from Nextbeam, and that was for communications and radar applications. And so turning to the news, there's been several announcements about millimeter wave technology, so I thought I'd cover some of those. Vivendi announced that it has collaborated with Kyocera to expand 5G millimeter wave network coverage and capacity by using their smart repeater technology. The proprietary millimeter wave chipsets and phased array antenna and software technology are all used by Kyocera to provide coverage beyond the reach of traditional 5G millimeter wave deployments, and still reducing the costs and sustainability and eliminating the need for fiber. And related to that, Kyocera and Rohde & Schwarz will showcase at Mobile World Congress 2025 in Barcelona the characterization of a millimeter wave phased array antenna module designed for FR2 applications. The Rohde & Schwarz ATS 1800M is a unique solution that features 4 feed antennas and a Catter reflectors, and each with a 30 centimeter quiet zone. And in this demonstration, Kyocera device will be placed in the 3D positioner where all 4 quiet zones overlap, and coming from multiple directions, it can detect the beams. And this allows Kyocera engineers to address a variety of different tests, including simultaneous reception of the RF beams from 4 directions. And thanks to the vertical configuration, it doesn't take up a lot of space and fits into a lab easily, much smaller than other OTA solutions. So looking forward to seeing that. And also, Fujikura announced that they will exhibit their millimeter wave products at Barcelona. And this is a wafer-level packaged 28 gigahertz beamformer ICs and frequency converter ICs, as well as a 28 gigahertz millimeter wave antenna board that incorporates these and integrates peripheral functions for the first time. This millimeter wave antenna board integrates an 8x8 array antenna, a wafer-level packaged beamformer IC and frequency converter IC, and bandpass filter, and also a combiner and splitter, so a lot into one package there. It also integrates the board-to-board connector, a phased lock loop that generates the reference signal for the frequency conversion, and the DC to DC converters that allows the entire board to run on 12-volt power supply. Combining the antenna board with the Rohde & Schwarz vector network analyzer enables a stable phase measurement of frequency conversion devices through real space OTA. The compact antenna test range will create an indirect far-field environment using the reflector within a compact environment of approximately 1.5 meters. And then finally, I also saw that Keysight announced that they will be demonstrating at Mobile World Congress 6G simulation to emulation, and that will be with their design tools capable of accurately simulating RF propagation environments. And Keysight will introduce a new Channel Studio RF ray tracing solution, which creates a site-specific RF propagation across FR1, 2, and 3 environments for digital twin simulations and real device testing with emulation. And they will also be featuring a 6G AI design automation with a demo of the new electronic design automation software featuring 3D circuit EM, thermal, multiphysics, co-design capability. And the software offers high-performance automation for AI ML, robust RF, and millimeter wave design validation. So a lot to see at Mobile World Congress. Eric, what did you see in the news?
Well, Yole just released their overview of semiconductor devices industry H1 2025 report. And the headline is the overall semiconductor market will grow from an estimated $672 billion in 2024 to be around $1 trillion in 2030. So we all like big numbers, and that's a big number. And this is all semiconductors. So the release has lots of good segmentation information on regions, applications, device types, and companies. So take a look at that. And also Spirent released their latest update to the 5G Outlook report. And with Spirent being so involved with testing, it gives them perhaps a different perspective on 5G. And the release has a number of key takeaways, and many of them deal with improving the lifecycle security and resilience of networks, improving the customer network and device experience, and how do you improve network efficiency. So that's great information and a little different perspective than what we've been seeing with some of the other forecasts.
Yeah, it's great when companies are able to have that kind of insight and do reporting on it. So I think we're going to try to have a podcast with them in the future. So turning to events, as I said, I'll be heading to Mobile World Congress Barcelona soon. Great food and wine there. So that's one thing I'll be checking out in addition to the millimeter wave technology that we mentioned. But I also want to check out the state of IoT, automotive wireless, AI, and SATCOM. And we're kind of seeing a convergence of SATCOM with cellular events these days as NTN technology evolves and the satellite terrestrial communications become part of the network. So while direct-to-device communications kind of has its limitations currently, it's an excellent use of the technology for remote emergency uses and also IoT applications where the amount of data transmitted is small. And speaking of SATCOM, both Eric and I will be at the satellite show the week after Mobile World Congress. So very busy beginning of March there. And in anticipation of Mobile World Congress, Eric and I just did a podcast with Earl Lum of EJL Wireless. And he talked about the state of the industry, covering topics like 5G, AI, Open RAN, and kind of the Chinese market players there. He has a good outlook on those. So that'll be releasing very soon. So Eric, what was your take on the conversation with Earl?
Well, it's always interesting to talk to Earl, and this conversation certainly didn't disappoint. And one of Earl's comments for Mobile World Congress is he's looking for something to impress him. And I think that's important. You know, the industry's been talking about 6G and satellites and terahertz and AI for some time now, but how do you actually make that talk reality? And, what does that look like? And Earl has some really good thoughts about what's next in the infrastructure market and how antenna design fits into that picture. We also talked about how AI and non-terrestrial networks fit into the network infrastructure. And Earl made some thought-provoking comments about China and some of the ongoing geopolitics that's spilling over into national news. So be sure to check out that podcast. It's really interesting. And for the first half of 2025, we're organizing 3 online panel sessions. March 28th is AI and RF, May 8th is Metamaterials, and June 5th is Satellite and Space. So please contact us if you're interested in a sponsor panel position. And that wraps up this episode. Our sponsor is RFMW. RFMW is a technical distributor of RF and microwave products and now power management products. When you start your next design, consider their multiple product lines. And remember, as a member of the industry, a subscription to Microwave Journal is free, so please visit our site and subscribe today if you aren't already a reader. Also, please give us a like and subscribe to our channels. Thanks for watching this episode, and please join us next time for another episode of Frequency Matters.